Welcome to yet another episode of the Economic Times Cutting Chai Stories, a series of conversations with CXOs and business leaders over chai or coffee, if that's your preference, brought to you by ETH. The urgency and pressure on business leaders as they navigated successive waves of the COVID-19 pandemic was immense, to say the least. These business leaders had to dynamically monitor myriad ways to ensure that their respective companies stayed on course in the new normal. The incredible demands placed on them makes us often wonder how they had time for family, hobbies, or any downtime at a personal level. And let's not forget that they are mere mortals. This initiative by ETH is aimed at creating a deeper connection with them by getting a glimpse into their personal and professional journey thus far, finding out what makes them tick, understand their views on life and leadership, and also get a sense of what they do to unwind and recharge when they are not in business mode. It is said that one conversation can change the direction of life forever. It is also said that there is nothing better than a cup of tea to get you going. So grab your cup of tea and join me, Ivan Broderick, for a very exciting cutting chai conversation today. It's my pleasure to host Rajiv Oza, Senior Director HR at Stryker India. Rajiv, welcome to the Economic Times Cutting Chai Stories.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you very much. Thank you. I have already had the cup of tea ready for this.
Yeah, I have my cup of tea too. So cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. Rajiv, let's kick off this cutting chai conversation. Let me ask my first question to you. It is said that creative thinking is the lifeblood of any organization. How do you encourage it within your organization to keep the new ideas coming?
Great. Creativity is actually the core of Stryker, because when we talk about innovation, we cannot forget the word creativity, because it's almost a subset of the overall arching word called innovation. I would say, to kind of nurture creativity, the best way to do it is have the subject on the table.
Right.
And creativity comes when you have a subject on the table. It could be a problem, it could be an opportunity, but once it is kept and you have people in the room for that 1 hour, 2 hour, you can actually see the number of ideas getting flow, and that actually brings in the best out of the individual. And we have seen this working pretty well. I would also add that whenever there is a crisis, creativity automatically triggers the way when you have blood flowing out of your body, you have the clot immediately coming up. Creativity is like that. You just go back to the history, any of the crisis situation, whether there is a war. I would like to just bring an example of the movie just I watched, Prithviraj. Prithviraj defeated Ghani 17 times.
Right.
And 16 times. In the 17th time was different. But in the 16 times when it defeated, there was an art of how they actually decided to kind of go ahead, and there was a creativity behind the strategy of that as to how it should be kind of destroyed. The army should be destroyed of the opponent. And if you look at COVID crisis, there has been so many creative ideas which has cropped up during this situation. So I personally feel that the problem or an opportunity, when put on a spotlight, and when you invite a community of people who are passionate about thinking, ideating, creativity just flows.
You're absolutely right. What I hear you saying is that adversity sometimes can bring out the best in people, and it's important to nurture that and recognize that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wonderful. Lovely note to start this cutting chai conversation. My second question, as an organization gets larger, and I'm sure you've seen this in your career, there can be a tendency for the institution to dampen the inspiration of individuals or teams. How do you keep this from happening?
Yeah, it's but natural that as organization grows bigger, uh, the attention to individuals in terms of their inspiration sometimes is a big challenge because of scale. Uh, but yes, the fact is that organizations are going to grow, institutions are going to become bigger and bigger, and they have to keep a touch in and connectedness to the individuals and aspiration, because the talent war on the other side is equally growing fierce.
Right.
The best way for leaders that I have seen, and that I think the way to address this is that we need to have fairly an organization over time which is empowering, and an organization which knows itself that when the scale is becoming larger and the agility is becoming lesser, what is the right time to decentralize, empower the teams, and make sure that we have leaders at all levels who take care of inspiration of the team members in their team. I think that's the only secret which can, make sure that we grow as an institution. At the same time, the inspiration of the individual is something top of the mind when we want to retain the talent.
Wonderful. What a lovely answer. Well, Rajiv, you touched and talked about teams. So let me ask you, what is the best way to build a great team? What, according to you, is the best way to build a great team? And as a follow-up, how do you measure success as a leader?
Sure. The best way, in my view, to build a team is first, there has to be a common purpose. Obviously, the 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 creator of the team, the organizer of the team, the orchestrator of the team is going to be the first to kind of, if it's a new team, is going to be the first to kind of set the purpose. And then he's going to inspire individuals to join and be a part of that purpose. So the fundamental thing is have a purpose. Second is have people who are passionate about that purpose. And if they are in the system, make them passionate about the purpose, because that's the leadership's important role, to make them passionate about the purpose. Third is understand the skill of each other and how the team is complementary to each other in terms of winning. And the fourth is either team wins or nobody wins. So, and if the team wins, everybody wins. So we have to kind of build on that purpose and just compare this with, a hockey team or a cricket team or a football team. As a team, they win. And if they win, everybody wins. Now that fundamentally has to grow into every individual, that this is not a competition of an individuals, even for the team leader, not to think this is a competition of individuals. Everyone has to align to a purpose, and everyone has to set a standard of excellence for that team. And it is then called a winning team, in my view.
Right. Wonderful. Let me, take it forward from where you left it. A company is driven by long-term goals. There's always a vision for the future, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years hence. However, employees, especially in very large organizations, are more concerned with the here and now. So as a leader, how do you balance planning for the future while being present for your employees?
Yeah, it's a very interesting situation that we are slowly getting in. And I would say the reason why we are getting into this situation is because we have a time where we have all three generations in the workplace. And when it comes to such a situation, right from the style of managing, right from the adaptation of different ways, different generation think of certain things, the inclusion, for that matter of fact, when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, plays a very important role, I would say. Uh,
Right.
Considering any of such situation when we have all three generation across the table, I think appreciation of ideas from each other is going to be very important. While I don't say that, for example, Gen Z is not futuristic, obviously Gen Z is futuristic, and they're
Yes.
here and now. But I also won't deny the situation that here and now is now applicable for everyone. Post-COVID world, uh, I don't feel that any company is able to firmly design a 10-year strategy. Uh, People have come down. There were budgets being made annual. Now I just hear, I was in some of the forums in the last couple of weeks. Uh, they're making growth targets for quarters now. Gone were the yearly targets. Now, and the reason is because there's so much of volatility in the market, whether it is the foreign exchange, whether it is the oil price, whether it is inflation. No one is able to make as accurate estimates on a longer run. And that makes the ecosystem itself is making us think that we need to kind of really look at what is the right balance between a long term and a short term with a dimension of three generations in the system. I think this is a complexity which a leader has to deal with.
Sure. Wonderful. Great perspectives. They completely resonate with me, and I'm totally on board with what you've just shared. Thanks, Rajiv. Rajiv,
Pleasure.
you've had a long innings. You've seen leaders in various roles. So my next question for you is, what are the most important attributes of successful leaders today, according to you?
Yeah. In fact, this question was asked by someone yesterday to me. Uh, so my answer is pretty, clear in my mind. According to me, the most important element in this VUCA world currently is an ability of leader to take risk. I
Take
think,
risk.
yeah, because there's a lot of uncertainty, and growth is something which is constant, and it cannot be negotiated. So the leaders have to take risk. And the second one, which I feel, is the empathy, uh, because there are and people are going to drive the organization. While I agree, technology is one thing which is anyway changing the world, but yes,
Yes.
without the people alone, technology is going to be difficult. So, in my view, the second, as you have talent, we have a war for talent. Empathy is the second most important element which I feel the leader needs to have. I would, and the third one obviously is to be more resilient, to be more agile, at the same time be futuristic. So this is my list of priority, where I don't deny there are 20 more important factors that a leader needs to have, obviously, and I will agree with all of them. But this five, looking at the scenario in which we are, they take the top of my list.
I think that's fantastic. Uh, okay, let's shift track a little bit, Rajiv, here. I'd like to get the academia perspective here. So the question is, with talent leaders increasingly recognizing the importance of finding the right talent partner, how can the industry academia collaboration help build a future-ready workforce?
Let me tell you, this is a most interesting uh, and a question which I kind of I feel very energized when I would answer. And there are two dimensions to it. One is I have always gone back to academics every 10 years in my career. When I did
Okay,
my BTech, I went back to work. After that, again, I went to academia for my MBA after work experience. Then again, a 10-year of work experience, and then again, I did my doctorate. So
Okay.
that give me a lot of awareness in terms of uh, now I'll bring you two important references here. One is I look at the field of medical, and whether it is US or India, if you look at the field of medical, the academia and the practitioners always coexist. You know, you name a hospital and you see in the compound, go to have a medical college there. And you ask the doctor, he is going to kind of go and take lectures as well as going to do a surgery. You can see the amount of coexistence the medical community has built around practitioners and academia, the corporate world and academia.
Right.
Look at the way the talent seamlessly moves from academia into the hospitals. Look at the number of medicines, number of disease that have been cured by that collaboration there. If you ask me, I don't see that level of collaboration in industry and academia,
Right.
as far as India is concerned. As far as US is concerned, I see that we need to learn from them. In the corporate world, medical world, I feel, relatively the gap is lesser in comparison to the corporate world. I yet feel that the appreciation, the mutual appreciation between both the leaderships is missing, and the only way to do it is we need to kind of see how close we can bring both of them, especially starting with, say, board members. Why can't the way we have some diversity, rules and regulations around board, we should also have certain rules and regulations around having an academia on the corporate board and having a corporate on the academia board. I think it may start, and it may actually be driven from top down, and that's the way we will be able to build more and more collaboration. Number one. Number two, I would say the syllabus and the course of academia have been changing very rapidly in the last, I would say, 5 years. Today, if I go to any engineering college, they have their syllabus aligned to the latest technology, whether it's AI, ML. And that bringing the industry to the academia to say, look, hey, I want the talent. And academia today, relatively, it was not 10 years back, but today the academia is in a position to say that, okay, you want the talent, here is the talent. Today, if you look at the AI, ML, supply and demand, fairly it is academia which is creating that supply and making sure that there is no supply demand problem in the new technology, whether it is blockchain, AI, ML, and so on, IoT, and so on. So I think technology has taken a leap, but management is yet to take the leap in terms of the academia and industry collaboration. I'm sorry, our answer was a little longer one, but it was very close to my heart.
Yeah, I can see that, and I'm so glad that you took this question, and it's very important also for all those who will view this cutting chai conversation to get your views on that, because this is not often discussed, and I'm glad that you feel passionately about it and shared your thoughts, Rajiv. So thank you so much for that. What I'm going to do on that note is ask you another question, and I'd like your thoughts as passionately if you can. My next question is, what does employee value proposition mean for you? And what drives your organization's decision to invest in it?
Yeah. So employee value proposition, for people who are hearing this word for the first time, don't worry. It's a possible a word or a jargon, I would say, to say how do you attract employees and how do you retain employees? What is your top 1, 2, 3, 4 things that you will say in order to, attract an employer, retain them?
Right.
That's the answer. Every organization is going to have a employee value proposition to to kind of have this. The fact is that it has to be differentiated one, because if it's same, we provide career, some other will also say we provide career, not job. I mean, but there has to be a differentiation. Number one. The second is there has to be examples. And third is the culture has to support that employer value proposition. At Striker, I would say, we call it talent offense. An offense where you use the word S and not C in offense.
Right.
In talent offense, exactly, it's all about how do we attract talent and how do we retain talent. And that's the investment that we do. And in my view, every organization is going to go ahead with this investment, because the war of talent is becoming fierce. And if you look at the attrition rates, they've gone about 20, and in the market, I would say. And every organization is investing in employer value proposition in the current scenario.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Great. So Rajiv, I think this is an important question, to wind up this first segment. And the question is as follows. In an era where workers and employers are looking for meaning, purpose, and resilience, what should be the archetype of a new leadership, according to you?
Yes. Somewhere I'll go back to the earlier question that you had asked in terms of the characteristics of leaders. I think one is the ability to instill the purpose.
Okay.
Because I'm seeing that the element of purpose is pretty prominent in the new generation. In fact, my earlier assumptions or perceptions were that maybe Gen Ys may not be so purposeful as much as I thought they are, and that's a very good news. I'm so happy to see that in the organization as they join the millennials, they are looking for purpose, and that surprises me. I thought that it may be a job hopping kind of a generation, but no. I think everybody is looking for a purpose, and the moment they are able to find purpose, they continue. So I believe leaders' job is again to instill purpose. And second is the leader archetype is a leader has to actually role model that passion for the purpose. Because people are going to look at you, and when they will see the passion for purpose. Today, why people like to put Elon Musk photos in their room or Steve Jobs? It's because they were so mad behind the purpose. And that's a reason why everyone looks forward to the leader and would like to see that passion for the purpose, and then try to mirror and follow them on the journey of that purpose.
Sure. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm really enjoying this conversation with you, Rajiv. So what we'll do is we'll shift gears and move on to another segment, which is called the one word, one line answer. What I'm going to do is throw a set of options at you and ask you to choose one. Okay. And you don't need to justify any of the answers. Just make your choice and we'll move on to the next one. The idea is to get to know Rajiv beyond his job designation. So we want to get to know Rajiv, the person. So are you ready for this, Rajiv?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay, great. So kindly choose one of the two options, books or movies.
Books.
Okay. High EQ or high IQ?
High EQ.
Money or fame?
Fame.
Fictional stories or true stories?
True stories.
Okay. Hard work or smart work?
Smart work.
Okay. Do you prefer cooking, Rajiv, or being cooked for?
I prefer cooking.
Oh, wonderful. Samosa pav or vada pav?
Vada pav.
Okay. Poha or upma?
Poha.
Okay. painful truth or comforting lie?
Comforting life.
Okay, nice. All-time favorite ice cream flavor of yours?
Guava.
Ah, wonderful. Would you rather never lose your phone or never lose the keys to your house?
I would rather never lose my phone.
Your phone, okay. Wonderful. Would you rather be a happy fool or a troubled genius?
Double genius.
Nice. If you were to be stuck in a room for 24 hours, whom would you choose to be stuck with? I'll give you three options, Rajiv. Kindly choose one. Robert De Niro, Lionel Messi, or Michelle Obama?
Robert De Niro.
Okay, great. What is a quality or trait that you admire most in people?
Their thought process.
Nice. Kindly complete this sentence. It's like fill in the blanks. I'm most happy when dash, dash, dash.
I'm most happy when my team wins.
Nice. Some of the things I used to love that I don't do anymore are dash, dash, dash.
Photography.
Okay.
And cartoon.
Cartooning.
Yeah.
Ah, wonderful. Behind every great man, there is dash, dash, dash.
Behind every great man, there is another person, male or a female, who makes it great.
Nice. Wonderful. Life is incomplete without?
Life is incomplete without dreams.
Without?
Dreams.
Ah, wonderful. Well done, Rajiv. I mean, you answered very well. We got to know so much more about you in the last 2 minutes too. And thank you for those very sporting answers.
Thank you.
You know, Rajiv, you remind me of the following quotes, which is you don't need a title to be a leader. The other quote that comes to mind is, you know, as I heard you responding to the various questions that we had on teamwork and leadership, is that true leaders don't create more followers, they create more leaders. And I think, you know, you espouse that value to the core. So, Rajiv, I had a wonderful time having this cutting chai conversation with. It was a great learning for me. And I'm sure there are very important takeaways from this wonderful conversation for all our viewers. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Rajiv Oza, Senior Director HR at Striker India. Rajiv, we wish you, your family, and Striker India the very best going forward.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. It is indeed an honor for me to be here. And I personally, I truly enjoyed this last 20 minutes conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Our pleasure, entire. Thank you.